With Election Day now behind us, many are turning their attention to voter turnout. South Dakota Secretary of State Monae Johnson says nearly 70% of South Dakota voters cast a ballot this year. But the hope is to increase turnout even more than that, and there's one idea that's gaining some traction. Parker Brown with that story for us here tonight.
From an increase in absentee voting to national campaigns to register voters, the efforts to increase voter turnout have been ramping up for years. However, data shows that under 65% of eligible voters ended up casting ballots, which is larger than it has been, but still less than many other democratic countries.
One idea that has picked up some steam again is the idea of creating a federal holiday.
Certainly in the last 5 years, there have been 4 bills introduced into Congress, mostly by Democratic representatives. The idea was that we want everyone to be able to vote.
Part of the motivation behind a holiday is that the working class can have a better chance to make it to the polls. Despite many states, like South Dakota, requiring employers to provide paid time off for voting, one of the main reasons citizens say they didn't vote is that they were too busy or had a scheduling conflict.
Anything that would increase the voter turnout, I believe, would be a good idea because of the cross-section of America would be much better represented.
Even if citizens do get to the polls, it can be a combination of going in early and seeing lines, or taking a longer break from work, or rushing to vote after work that has made the idea of a holiday more favorable in recent years.
Just my first thoughts, I think it's a good idea. I mean, anything to get people out and voting and save them time rushing from work and lunch breaks and all that. So I think it's a good idea. First initial thoughts on it.
As work has sort of spread out in our cities, people have a harder time getting there. Polls being open from 7 to 7, that may make it more difficult to be able to get to the voting place. Being a law doesn't mean it's going to be enforced.
Some we spoke to who didn't want to be on camera said that it isn't proven that it will increase turnout and called it pointless. Others pushed back on that idea.
Anything that would add convenience and less inconvenience, I think, would increase voter turnout.
I think overall the pros outweigh the cons in this situation.
Congress seems to reject the idea. The last 4 times a bill was introduced, including this year, it didn't pass. Still, as conversations continue, it isn't impossible to imagine the holiday becoming a reality. We'll just have to wait and see. In Sioux Falls, Parker Brown, Dakota News Now.
Tomorrow night on Dakota News Now, we will have more on what the cons of an election federal holiday are being implemented and the likelihood of a bill being signed at all. And you can let us know what you think on our website with our poll question, is an election federal holiday a good idea? Now, as of tonight, we can see that 56% of those who have responded say yes, they do like it as an idea. 43, close to 44%, say maybe that's not too hot. There is still time to vote. The poll will close tomorrow night.